All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. For those of you who are thirsty, it is Thursday. A little bit of what we got yesterday. A little bit of Wanderlust Wednesday yesterday. Did you guys like the Water Boys yesterday? That was pretty good. What are we talking about today? We're going to go with the Cars today. The reason why we're going with the Cars is because I feel like it. And we've covered this record before. But you guys remember maybe a couple weeks ago I said, what is the most played album that you have ever listened to, beginning to end, no interruptions? And I wanted your top three. And if you remember, my top three were Animals by Pink Floyd, the Cars, Candio, and Enigma with their debut. And I don't know, maybe some people were surprised by Candio, but not far behind that would be this record, the debut album by the Cars. Pretty darn close, if I had to say. And what a record this is. It's amazing. And I heard this song the other day, and I was like, it's a feel-good album. We're going to cover this song that I heard. So we'll get into it just a bit, even though we've done that before. June 6th, 1978, Boston band The Cars dropped this debut record. And it went to number 16 on the charts eventually and sold 6 million copies overall. Described as a new wave band. What do you guys think about that? You vote for that? I mean, I can kind of see it, but first of all, this is 78. So it kind of cracks me up when they play the Cars on first wave. But there's plenty of synthesizers in there, guitar and synth, power pop, Synth-Rock, whatever you want to call it. It's just funny that to me, I picture new wave, and it's on paper the Cars should qualify for that, but they get played on classic rock stations too. So I guess maybe it's just an amalgam of all that stuff. Formed in 1976. Doing the club circuits, Boston radio, they had a DJ that was playing their demos on the radio locally. How often do you see that, where they're playing the actual demos? Of course, Rick Ocasek, Benjamin Orr, Elliot Easton, David Robinson, and Greg Hawkes. You might also recall the story, not that long ago, however many years ago, that my wife, I informed my wife, Sarah, who's a big music fan and can go toe-to-toe with me on a lot of topics, that Benjamin Orr was the singer of a lot of the songs that she liked from the Cars, and she almost fell off her chair and was just beside herself. She was like, who's Benjamin Orr? What's going on here? I feel like my whole life has been a lie. And Rick Ocasek isn't the singer of all these songs. Anyway, that's true that he was in all the videos from the 80s, Rick Ocasek singing a lot of those, but they split vocals on this album. Rick sang Good Times Roll, Let the Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, what else she did? I'm in Touch with Your World, Don't You Stop, You're All I've Got Tonight, and Benjamin Orr did the rest. Just What I Needed, Bye Bye Love, Moving in Stereo, All Mixed Up. We'll get back to those songs in just a second. That album cover, how about that album cover? I read a lot about that album cover. That is Natalia Medvedeva, a Russian actress, author, writer. But she's, people want to know what car that is that she's sitting behind, that steering wheel. And there was translucent steering wheels in the 50s and 60s. I think Pontiac and Chrysler had a steering wheel like that. I'm going to post that somewhere. But that's not what that was. The photographer in an interview said that he made that out of a steering wheel. He peeled it back and wanted to make it translucent so that he could put lights in it maybe or do something fun with it. And that she wasn't actually in a car. They handed her the steering wheel and they had it propped up on boxes so she could be in the angle that she's at. And that there was no car involved. So That's what I read from the photographer. So the band had another cover in mind, a black and white one, and the studio, the label hated it. And then they came up with the cover, and the band apparently just never really liked that cover. Drove them crazy. They didn't think it was who they were as a band. Again, with all these songs, there were only 3 singles off this record. How is that even possible? Only 3 singles. Just what I needed, My Best Friend's Girl, and Good Times Roll. Well, those are the first 3 songs on the record. But plenty of arguments about being a perfect record or whatever you want to call it. You got those 3 songs on side A, I'm in Touch with Your World, and Don't Just Stop. Quirky songs, like them a lot. Got no issues with those. Flip that puppy over. Side B, You're All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, Moving in Stereo, and All Mixed Up, not singles. Heavy radio play on all those songs. On classic rock, AOR rock stations played all those songs on there, but never singles for any of those. Crazy, right? Did you guys know that? That's amazing. So Mark, what are you doing for song of the day? You're at 7 minutes. It is Moving in Stereo, All Mixed Up. You got to play those 2 together. When you listen to the radio, you're just waiting for them to not. Please, God, don't cut that off. And you'd hear them faded off, and you're like, no, why? Got to play All Mixed Up, just like In Excess and You Just Night, and anyway, we're just going to digress. But it's Moving in Stereo, All Mixed Up, and we love that the stereo goes back and forth. And All Mixed Up is one of my favorite songs on the record. I just love it when it kicks up. She's always out making scenes. I'm just amazing. It's a great, great song. Of course, Moving in Stereo featured prominently in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, if you remember that. A lot to like on this record. Just brings me back to waiting for the school bus in high school, like a John Hughes movie. We had someone that always brought the giant boombox, Brian, with massive 8D batteries, and we'd get on the bus and sit in the back, and the whole bus would sing. This is a true story. Everybody on the bus would sing to these songs by the Cars. I can picture it. Just bobbing along, singing the Cars, driving down the road in the bus. That's your song of the day today, The Cars, debut album. I know you're going to have a lot to say about it, Frank, especially. But put your comments below about your memories about this record, and that's what you're listening to today. Have a good one, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.